Hi, welcome to the Change, Grow and Transform series. It's day 30. So, hopefully, you've managed to do every day, or at least most of the days, and you've started to notice some kind of shift. You may be feeling happier and just as better sense of well-being for longer. You may find that some things have just ironed out in relationships or work issues, and you may be starting to focus on things that just feel good and give you some return rather than getting stuck in stories, in drama, or in difficulties and challenges. And of course, everybody has those. It's a facet of life, up and down. And today we're going to actually use the star, let's get the right card, to create a vision for the future. So the affirmation for this is I envision a future with clarity and trust in its unfolding. So I think it was day 25 or 27 when I looked at how we trust in the process, and I went into some of what that process has meant for me over the years. So even though on day 28 I was talking about setting intentions, I do set intentions. I do have a list of things that I want to complete and work on each week, each day, and overall for the month. And now I'm thinking about things in terms of seasons. The summer season, the festivals are here. I like to get out and about in the camper van, and then the winter and autumn season is a little bit different. So today it's about I envisage my future with clarity and trust in its unfolding. So the star, we use that a lot. It represents hope, inspiration, and a renewed vision. It invites you to dream big and trust in the process of manifesting your desires. This card reminds you to align your goals with the highest aspirations and have faith in your journey. So creating a vision for the future starts with the clarity and belief. And as I said in that previous video, is I've not always had the clarity. I've just had a inkling that I want to try something or do more of something, change and work in a particular way. And then I've followed the hunches, and slowly, slowly things have built up. Just as how I made some shifts on my YouTube page. A couple of years ago, I was doing podcasts every week. We were looking at mental health, well-being, happiness, and the tarot series as well. Then I started interviewing people, and then I decided to change and create programs that could put out all the information, knowledge, guidance, understanding that I've come across that's got some research behind it that I could share with you and that you could use and you could test out what works in your life. So dream boldly and trust in the power of your intentions. One of the things that gets in the way of us making progress is when we slip back into mental mindsets, loops, sort of negative self-talk, telling ourselves something won't work out, it's not going right, it's shoe's going to fall off. But let's now just say, do you know what? What's the worst that can happen if I choose to focus on making and creating these dreams, or at least taking the steps towards them? So today let's dive into that vision setting technique and visualization exercises to help you craft a future aligned with your heart's desire. So definitely make sure you've got some space, connect with the energy of the card, which is a star representing hope and inspiration. Okay, now there's a few different ways you can do this. I use visualization a lot, but I'm quite good at doing it. So I can sit back in the garden, close my eyes, and start to visualize places I want to go, what I want to see, anything I'm working on in particular, or widening out that dream, and connecting with different information rather than watching the same guy that does the podcast all the time, listening to the same music. Is sometimes I'll just sort of change it up a gear and see what else I come into contact with. And also it changes the algorithm, in terms of feeding you the same information. Our brains don't like to get the same information being Groundhog Day for too long. For some people, the repetitive nature of life and work will suit them for a while, but it's only when we start to feel depressed, anxious, fed up, just out of sorts. Usually it's a calling for us to expand or make some changes, small and big ones. So part of a visualization process can be using something called a vision board, where you gather images, quotes, words that resonate with your dreams and goals. So if you buy magazines, you can cut out the things that you would really like to have. Sometimes that's material things, and sometimes it's a feeling. Often an NLP will start asking people what it is that you want, and people will say, well, I want lots of money. Why do you want money? Well, I want the freedom to travel. Why do you want to do that? Well, because it feels good. And often we're really driving at a state that we want to feel more and more of the time. And that freedom to choose and be involved with all those different aspects. So I can have a day, as I've done today, of working in the garden, playing my favorite music, and then listen to some information that I like, working on the projects that I enjoy. And so I stack those various activities that really matter to me and make my day-to-day life enjoyable, that then build into that bigger vision of how your life can grow and expand. And often we just have to get into those good feeling states for us to then be open to, conversation, people bumping into people, getting emails, with new ideas that can take us further towards our dreams and goals. So arrange the pictures on a board or use a digital canvas with that visual representation of your vision. Place it somewhere visible to inspire and motivate you daily. And one of the toughest things is we can say like fitness goals. But once rather than waiting for motivation, once you've actually been a few times and you feel stronger, you feel more toned, and you feel like you've got more endurance and you can cope with things better, the way that we work out and manage our fitness has an ultimate impact on our mental health and well-being. It's a symbiotic relationship. If we change our fitness plans and start doing more, that will raise the feel-good chemicals in the body, and that will affect our mental health. So it's really important that we work on these different facets so we get the proper rest, the proper nutrition, and also spend time doing more and more of the things that move us further towards that dream. So a journal prompt could be, what does your ideal future look like? Who's in it? What are you driving? Are you walking? Are you in an eco village? Are you traveling around? Have you got a camper van? Are you going around, spending time in nice hotels, exploring countries? Are you going for a different job? Are you going to do a different degree to get you towards something different, taking up a new hobby? So what does your ideal future look like by the end of this year, and even 5 years? I would just focus by the end of this year. You've got 12 months and you can track back to kind of what are the things that you can do to move you in that direction. What steps can you now take to move you closer to that vision? So as we know with health goals, if you've been to the gym before, you can quite easily start to tap into that muscle memory and get that fitness back. But it really depends on whether we are recovering from an accident, or we've just not been in the gym for a while, so it can take a little bit of time. When I started out again in October going to the gym and swimming, I carved out time, making sure I had plenty of time for rest, because I knew I would find it taxing in the first few weeks. Now I'm starting to get results. I do a bit more, I find it a little bit taxing, but I alternate the days and the way in which I do that towards my bigger goal of just being able to hike more, get out and about, walk more, visit more places. So what steps can you take now to move you closer to your vision? You've always wanted to, maybe you want to do a cooking YouTube channel, and you want to learn a particular style of cooking. Maybe you want to get lessons or watch some of your favorite cooks, or get some support to manage the tech and set that up so you can start to take those steps. And how does your vision align with your core values and principles? So remember, we talked about values on one of the days, and if you work out what your values are, it's much easier to align the actions and activities with that and feel good. Often there's a correlation. And then we don't always know what our purpose is. Like I said, with my experiences, I didn't really know what my purpose was. I just knew what the next natural step felt like. Sometimes I've overcomplicated it and spent too much time thinking about it rather than just taking those steps. Because there's a lot of things that we can do that are free, that don't require any money. We can study, there's lots of courses online. We can find out about how to fix things on YouTube. There's so much information out there that we've got access to now. And sometimes what we need is a community of people, like-minded people, that when we get stuck, we can talk to them about that. And that's why, say, like when you've got a camper van, you can go online on Facebook and they've got lots of pages dedicated to van life and solo trips so that people share their tips, guidance, and advice. So hopefully this has been helpful. We're going to revisit dreams and creating a desired future and looking at your ideals. But a lot of what I've put in this program is really just to kickstart the process of getting you to think a bit different and focus on those questions that I ask in the journal. So hopefully that's been helpful. Like and subscribe to my page and let me know what you think of today or any of the days that I've been talking about. Okay, see you soon.